This is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times on Friday, December 4th, 2015, Republicans' climate change denial. Now, in addiction circles, when someone is in denial, we like to say that denial is not a river in Egypt, and that when someone is in denial, they can't even admit that there's a problem. Now, we're having a big conference in Paris right now in terms of climate change. Obama said out there and said that he wants to be the leader of this. He wants America to be the leader of this, that we must take drastic action and we need to start it today. Now, we don't know what the final results will be from that. A lot of people will probably be disappointed, but maybe we will get to the point where we will all admit that climate change is real and it needs to be addressed. Maybe, just maybe, because unfortunately right now there is one party in one country in the entire world that is practicing denial to the greatest extent possible, and that is our sisters and brothers on the Republican side. They are the biggest deniers in the entire world. They will not even accept that there is a problem. Overwhelmingly, now there are a couple moderates that might say it, but they'll go along with whoever the presidential candidate is, and they'll go along in terms of any type of legislation that the Republicans might put through that like going against what the EPA has to say. They'll go along with that, even though they might admit, oh, there's a problem. And remember that who's the one guy, Inhofe out of Oklahoma, who basically calls it a big hoax, and he's part of the on top of an environmental committee, so to speak. And the Republicans have harassed scientists. They talk about, the science is not there. They don't believe it. When it's overwhelming that it's out there. They even are intimidating scientists. They've sued scientists, etc. So maybe when we get to Paris and something comes out, even though it won't be enough, maybe it'll be enough to indicate that this is something that will have to be addressed. And my position is that there's 4 or 5 issues that no Republican should ever get elected on come 2016. No Republican. And that would be indicating that a denial of global climate change. Now, the one thing that Dr. Krugman points out at the end, and I think this is the biggest thing, is that we have, he calls it denial, and that's for the other reason, is that what we have in the mainstream media, basically this assumption that the parties are symmetrical, that one who takes a strong stand one way is counterbalanced by one who takes a strong stand in the completely opposite direction. And that isn't even remotely close when it comes to climate change, because it's not that the Republicans are denying it. They know what the truth is. They're fully aware of it. They know that it will have to be addressed, but they can't get to that point because their conservative base won't let them get to that point. And the point is that it isn't symmetrical. It is overwhelming that there is global climate change, and that all, let's just say, reporters should be taking up the mantle that, if you are denying that there is global climate change, why should you be elected? Because we know from all of the evidence that it is going on. In fact, there was an article just the other day that Ronald Reagan and George Bush were supporting global climate change, that we needed to do things to counteract that in the late 1980s. And I would like to just point a real quick thing. It's 2015, 50 years from now, 2065, I won't be around. I think my oldest daughter would be 80, something like that. And what kind of world are we leaving towards them? What will be there? We need to make, there'll be $9.5 billion, 9.5 billion people in the world at that point in time. We will have to do drastic things, and there was an old saying from the Catholic Church, this priest said at one time, is that, you're going to have to do something later, meaning that you're going to have to admit your sins. Why not now?